'cause I know I'm coming back. Oh, oh. Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you.
Hey everyone, we are going to just jump right into this grocery haul. I didn't set it up all nice and pretty for you because I was just frozen to the bone. And so it all just got plopped up on the counters. So I'm going to start off by showing you over here. I have some corn dogs and some of these chicken, pepper jack Swiss cheese and bacon and the cordon bleu style. My husband likes chicken cordon bleu. These are the ones I usually get him, but we got the other ones to try. We got a couple of packs of bacon. I think I got 3 this time because I was going to make some and then also cook some up and put it in the freezer to have for recipes throughout the week. I have a pie crust. And I have some of the Aldi brand crescent rolls. Not sure if those are good or not, but thought I'd give them a try. I bought 4 of those because there are so many ways that you can use crescent rolls. Some Cool Whip to go on top of a Jell-O poke cake. Some of these bagel pizzas, we've never tried these before, so I'll let you know if we liked them or not. And a jar of pickle chips. These tend to go further at our house than the pickle spears, so I like to get those. A box of raisins for 99 cents, which are a quick and simple grab-and-go snack. And then some of the scarlet cheesy bread, which we have already had this by now, and I will tell you it's really good when it comes right out of the oven and it's nice and hot. I grabbed some pistachios for my husband. He likes to snack on those. And then some raspberries, which I will say I have in the past been disappointed with the produce at Aldi's, but these were good. And so far, everything that I've gotten from the produce department at our new Aldi's has been good. I've really been enjoying these little tomatoes. And so here's another look at the big spread on this side of my kitchen. I do have a couple things I didn't mention, like some frozen vegetables and some meatballs. And my cast iron skillet's on the back of the pan, but it's clean even if it has some oil sitting in it. I usually do leave oil in it. So I got some of the Aldi's brand Cheez-Its, a bottle of wine just to have in my stash. I don't drink a lot of wine, but I like to have it on hand. And it was like a $4.99 of wine, so I'm curious to see how good it is. I got a half of a pork loin, some gigantic chicken breast, and also some sliced mushrooms, a couple of frozen pizzas, which I thought were the Jacks, but they're the Mama Cozy brand, so I'll let you know if I like those. And then some of these chicken drumsticks, which are, in my opinion, more bang for your buck because that's a good source of protein for a small price. I got a bag of baby carrots. Not sure what I'm going to do with those because we don't like to really eat them raw, but I will find a recipe to put them in. Some little potatoes and a bag of oranges. I was a little worried about those oranges. I got another head of cabbage, some of these red bag chicken nuggets because they seem like they were a good price, and I've heard other YouTubers brag on them, so I thought I'd give them a try. I got some butternut squash by mistake, but that's okay because I like it, and a bag of cheese raviolis. Some hash brown potatoes. All they had were the really thin shredded, so I got those. Some meatballs, another bag. I ended up picking up 2 of those. I got some of these Mama Cozy pizza snacks, and they must have been good because they're already gone. The kids have eaten those right up, and there were no complaints about them being off-branded, so I'm assuming they liked them. Like I said, we've been on a cabbage kick, and it keeps for a really long time. I got a pack of zucchini to saute up as a side dish. Bill and I really like to have zucchini that way. And some avocados. I have a hard time picking out avocados, and it was really hard to find any that were on the ripe side, but I did find a couple that felt pretty good. You got a bag of cilantro. And then I also got some asparagus. And I picked up a bag of green tomatoes. And I'm going to be doing some dehydrating, and so I got some celery, which is something that we do not really eat in our house, but I do like to put it in soups and whatnot. So I thought I'd get a pack of that and then dry it out. I have some green bell peppers, a 3-pack of those, and then a 2-pack of the red and orange bell peppers, a couple heads of broccoli, and then these little mandarin oranges, which I was a little worried about them because the peels were green. And like I've said before, I have not always been happy with Aldi's produce, but these were really, really good. We're still eating on those, and they are nice and sweet. I got a bag of lemons. I picked up 4 packs of this ground beef, and we really like this brand right here. It has always tasted good. I was looking for the 80/20, but I couldn't find any, so we ended up with 85/15, and it was just fine. I picked up some of this queso fresco for my husband. He's been really into queso cheese. And then I picked up some margarine. I have been a butter girl for years and years and years, but lately I've been buying margarine as well as butter. Not sure why, but sometimes getting the tub of soft margarine out is just easier and quicker. I got another dozen of eggs, some of this crumbled blue cheese to go on salads, and then also to go into stuffed burgers. I picked up some more of this lettuce because Bill really liked it. And so that is for salads. And then I picked up 2 more hazelnut coffee creamers for Bill. And then over here we have some olives, which have been opened and snacked on already before the haul even got started. I have some sliced cheese, some of the Aldi brand golden round crackers, which are like the Ritz crackers, just not as good, to be honest, but they're okay as long as you put some cheese or something on them. We picked up some more of our flatbreads for our pizzas. I like to put those in the freezer just to make sure that we have them when we want them. Okay, so now I have some block cheese. I have some Swiss, some sharp cheddar, a block of pepper jack, and a block of mozzarella, and I'm going to shred these all up, put them in bags, and then put them in the freezer. I think that shredding my own cheese tastes better. It's just that I don't always have the motivation to shred it, but this time it is on my list of things that I will do. So I picked up a loaf of the cinnamon raisin bread to make toast for snacking. I also got this loaf of sourdough bread because I like to eat sourdough bread sandwiches and toasts and whatnot, some hot dog and some hamburger buns. And then I don't know if you can see it there, but I have this little skinny loaf of French bread as well. And here is the whole mess on the counters that I now need to put away. This was $255 worth of food. I know it doesn't look like it, but it surely is. The next day was Sunday, and I'm just bringing you guys all along with me and showing you how I spent my day, giving a shot at dehydrating food as well as a little bit of prepping for the week.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call?
I got to work getting everything set up for Bill to make French toast for breakfast while I was getting out the dehydrator and the shredder and all of that good stuff so that I could do all the prep work that I wanted to do while he was making us a nice French toast and bacon breakfast. And so this is how our breakfast turned out. This is my plate, and I have my crispy bacon on the side with my syrup on my cinnamon French toast, and I just added some raspberries to that. And French toast for breakfast is such a treat for us, but it was especially a treat for me because I didn't cook it. Someone else made it for me, and I so appreciate it whenever anyone cooks for me. Next, I'm getting my shredder ready and some wax paper laid down on my counter. I am going to try to dehydrate some celery and some onions. I'm really interested in learning how to use my food dehydrator so that this year when I'm gardening, I have another method of putting food up. So I thought this weekend would be the perfect time to give it a shot. So far, the only thing we've ever made in our dehydrator was beef jerky. And so one day it just came to me as I was thinking about all the anxiety that I feel about canning food and realized that I have a dehydrator in my cabinet, and I also have a food saver or vacuum sealer that I could easily dehydrate some of the vegetables that we grow in our garden and either freeze them. Use the food saver and freeze them, or dehydrate and use the food saver bags to store them just in our pantry and have them on hand to use. And so that's something that I'm researching right now. And so I decided that I would get out my little tools here and give it a test run and see how does my dehydrator work and all that good stuff, and how does it turn out, how long does it take to dehydrate an onion and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I was just curious. So here I'm using my shredder, which first time for everything, I guess, because I've only used this to shred cheese, but it has so many attachments and you can do all kinds of things with it. I just never have. So here I am just plopping in my peeled onions into the top. I have the slicer blades in there and it chops so easy. This took seconds to go through like 3 big onions. So I really like this. And here you'll see when I do the celery how quick that was too. And I really think I could honestly get rid of some of my other food choppers. I'm not going to, but I could. I really did like this method. The only thing that I've ever found with this food chopper shredder thing is that the spout on it doesn't quite stick out as far as I would like it to on mine, so that it falls into the bowl. So that is just one thing that I find with mine. So I just bring my wax paper up really close to it and then catch it that way. So here I'm just putting all of my sliced onions onto my dehydrator tray. And I am only going to toy around with onions and celery this time. And I know that it is something that we will use this week. And so that way I'm not worried about molding and that kind of thing. But this was just to get a touch or a feel for it. And so I'm in the process of researching the dehydration methods right now. And so I'm really excited about learning how to do that. And this is just me doing the celery. It went super fast and it was actually kind of fun. I'm not sure why, but it was to me. And then I just picked out some of the strings because celery has all those little like hairs or whatever in it, but it really sliced them up super fine, which I liked because when this is all done, it makes a very small pile of celery. And I basically only use celery in things like soups. So this is perfect for what I wanted to use it in. I tried to get my layers as thin as possible and not put too much on a tray. But like I said, this was my first time dehydrating anything like this. And really, though, the celery was so thin, it dried out really fast and got really super, super thin. So it wasn't too bad that they were kind of shoved in there all together. So I have rinsed off my shredder and I'm putting in the grater blades back in there so that I can do this cheese next. And so all I'm going to do is shred up each block of cheese and then put it in bags and then put those in my freezer. So I have to put my cheese in the freezer. Otherwise, there are people who like to just reach in the bag and snack on shredded cheese by the handful. And oops, I think I had like one of the little strings from the celery hanging off the edge of my shredder. So I got that off because we don't want that in our cheese. And you'll notice that I don't rinse or wash in between the cheeses, and it really was not a problem. There wasn't like pepper jack mixed in with the Swiss. I did make sure to start with the other cheeses before doing the pepper jack so that if it was at all any kind of spicy, then it wouldn't get mixed in with the other cheeses, but that just was not even a problem with these cheeses. And so it really only took maybe 10 minutes to do all of the blocks of cheese and then get them into the baggies. And with the first one, I was kind of doing it by the handful and making a little bit of a mess. But at some point, you'll see that I have kind of like an aha moment and figure out that I can just pick up the paper and then just put it in the bag and then get the cheese in there faster. So anyway, this is just me shredding cheese for the week.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me, take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. No mistake ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance our way to church on Sundays. Mama set the pace. Daydreamer, kidnapped me,
Sometimes I think I can let myself get overwhelmed with the to-do parts of things, and it keeps me from even getting started. Like, I know that shredding my own cheese tastes better than the bag cheese, but and I know that it's easy to do too, but just the whole thought of getting everything out to do it, and oh, I have 4 blocks of cheese I need to shred, and then there's the dishes and the cleanup afterwards. But as you can see, it really wasn't hard at all. And like I said, it only took about 15 minutes to do all of the cheese. And then because I used my sheet of wax paper to catch the cheese on, there wasn't a bowl to clean up or anything. And like I said, I think that I just think about all of the things that I want to do or should do or whatever, and then the list grows bigger and bigger until I just don't want to do any of it. And then it's just easier to buy the bag cheese that I'm just not as happy with. So anyway, I can feel really proud of myself for every little thing, like just shredding cheese made me happy. So I don't know. Think about little ways that you can feel like you're doing a little something extra for yourself and your family. And try not to look at your to-do list as a big whole list, or maybe just break it into chunks and do what you can. And seeing that this is my first time dehydrating celery, I found this to be really comical. I mean, I started off with so much celery in the beginning, and then here it is all dried out. I mean, this is just one tray, and I think there was still some on that tray that didn't totally dry out. It was still wet, so I put it on the other tray to finish out. But I thought this was pretty funny. But like I said, this is going to add lots of flavor. It is going to rehydrate when I use it in soup. In fact, I've already used some, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But when you're just starting out and you don't know what to expect, and then you plop out your tray of celery and it's just like gone, it fits all into a sandwich bag. It's really surprising. But I have since then watched more YouTube videos on drying food, and this is not uncommon. And so I like to think that I did good for my first time, and it turned out the way it was supposed to. And so it gave me enough confidence to try to do it some more. And that's what I needed. And that's why I try things in little baby steps like this. So here is my 1 bag of celery. Next, I am just cutting up these last 2 or 3 chicken breasts into little chunks. It's still partially frozen, but I was making sheet pan Southwest chicken for dinner on this day, and there were a few chicken breasts that were left over, and so I'm just getting them cut up and into a freezer bag that I'll just keep in the refrigerator, because I do plan to use it pretty soon, within the next couple of days. And so I really like my old-fashioned sink with these sideboards on it when I'm doing something really messy like cutting chicken. I mean, it is really just a gross task, just to be honest. And I have like all the wrappings and everything down in the sink, and so I can just wash everything right here. I can wash the chicken, get it into my bag, and then just spray and bleach everything on my sink down and just clean it right down the drain here. So anyway, this is just, you may not think about it, but when you have those extra couple pieces of like meat or chicken, and you're going to use it later on in the week, just go ahead and cut it up and put it in your bag. And the same with the lettuce or whatever you're using. We were having salad on this night too, and so I just chopped it all up and then washed it up and put it back in the fridge in a baggie so that it's ready for the rest of the week. And then when we're busy on a work night, we can just pull this back out and cook it up however we want to use it. And so this was just a little look at what I made for dinner on this Sunday night, and that's also going to be in my what's for dinner video. And so to make it really easy, I had picked up this pack of heart-shaped little sugar cookies at Aldi's because I knew I would be busy with other things, and so I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. And that's like a big thing for me right now, is to not be so hard on myself and have such high expectations. I can become overwhelmed quite easily. And so I knew that I wouldn't want to spend the day trying to do baking on top of prepping, on top of cleaning, on top of whatever the heck I'm doing, dehydrating. So I just baked up some simple little sugar cookies. And then here is just that last tray of celery. And so I'm done with my celery. The onions have, they must have more water or liquid in them. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just because they were bigger chunks. But they did take a lot longer to dry than the celery did. Maybe they sliced up thicker. I'm not sure. But either way, the celery is done. And then I'm just letting the onions go on the dehydrator longer. And that is like one of the things that I like about dehydrating is that you just get it all set up and then you just forget about it and let it go for hours and hours, and you don't have to stand over it. And obviously I know now that probably putting everything into a Ziploc bag might not be a good idea. You'd want your container to be airtight so that you don't get any mold. But like I said, I know it now, and we were using the celery and the onions this week, so it's not a big deal. And I do have mason jars that I can put them in if I choose to. And like I said, I'm really feeling a lot more confident that this is something that I can do with some of my produce this year when we have our garden and I can put things up. I have not much experience with canning, and I don't have a deep freezer, so we were pretty limited with what we could do. And I did get impatient with the onions, and I ended up taking the one tray off, and these are all pretty dry, and you can see some of them have browned up a little because they were that dry. But the others, the wet ones, I put in a separate bag, and we just use those immediately. And I have used the dry ones also since then, and they do rehydrate well when you put them in a dish of food, whatever your recipe is. And then I have my chicken laid out, and then I am done. I'm done with everything for this day. It was pretty late. We were watching football, and I just decided it was time to have a couple of my little cookies and some hot tea and just relax for the rest of the night. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. I'll see you next time.